Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse podcast. This is episode number 482. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, we've got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Well, hello.
This week on the show, we'll be taking a look at The Wrath of Becky, which is out now on VOD platforms. We'll also be going over some of what we've been watching on the watch list and going over this week's new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us this week. If you could give us a review on iTunes, that'd be great. I apologize for any audio issues that you hear this week. I'm having I don't know, man. I'm having all kinds of audio issues this week.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So, apologies for that. And hopefully by next week I'll have everything sorted out. With that, let's go ahead and get into The Wrath of Becky here. 2 years after escaping a violent attack, a teenage girl must defend herself against a terrorist cell. This is directed by Matt Angel and Suzanne Coote. Now, Kevin, I'm looking on your Letterboxd here.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not seeing the original Becky on here. Did you watch the original Becky?
What? It's not on there? No, that's because I didn't watch it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
You know why? I watched The Wrath of Becky, right? And I was
you started with number 2.
Because this, no offense, but a lot of these movies are the same. I can just fill in the blanks, you know? But I thought, depending on how this one's go, maybe I'll go back to the first one. But I feel like I think I know what happens in the first one. I don't think I would have been surprised.
No, you wouldn't have been surprised. In fact, The Wrath of Becky plays out almost exactly like the first one. I mean, it is very, very, very similar. Just more. Everything it's the same, but more. I mean, I guess a lot of people, when they talk about sequels, this is kind of the definition of a sequel, where it's pretty much more the same thing, but it's just bigger. It just goes way bigger than the original one. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of the first Becky. Let me see if I have what I gave it on Letterboxd, because I'm pretty sure I gave it a 2.5 on Letterboxd.
All right.
I rewatched it for the sequel here because I pretty much forgot most of the stuff in the original Becky. Like, I remembered some of the kills and stuff. But yeah, for the most part, sort of forgot. But yeah, so I revisited it. I'd still stick by my 2.5 score on that one. And I could pretty much say the same thing about The Wrath of Becky. Like, there were a lot of things I liked, and there were a lot of things that I thought were just not very good and just kind of lame. This is the type of movie that you don't really put a lot into. Like, you don't go into a movie like Wrath of Becky hoping or expecting anything that's gonna blow you out of the water. What you have here is your pretty standard revenge thriller. And so I think that all you could sort of want going into Wrath of Becky is a badass lead killing people in very violent ways. And that's what you get. You definitely get that with Wrath of Becky.
You sure do. And I appreciate that this movie just takes a fairly simplistic approach. This is just a very simple movie. It doesn't try to be anything bigger. You know what I mean? Like, it knows what it's doing. It's short and sweet. And I'm like you, that there's certain things that I enjoyed. Some aspects of it I thought were kind of lame. But all in all, I think it ticked most of the boxes that it set out to tick. You know, it's gory. It's ridiculous, short, to the point. It's not overcomplicated, and it's in and out, and you're done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in the first Becky, the big bad villain was a neo-Nazi played by Kevin James, of all people, the King of Queens, and he had a giant swastika tattooed on the back of his head. This one, Becky is not going after neo-Nazis, although it's pretty much neo-Nazi. She's going after a very thinly veiled group it's the Proud Boys. Let's just be honest. I don't know why they couldn't just have them be Proud Boys. I think that would be really funny if they just straight up called them Proud Boys.
Yeah, then you would have to have some teeth. And I don't think this movie is prepared to have teeth. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's just because even like the noblemen or whatever that they call it,
yeah,
even now
noblemen, Proud
they don't
Boys, get it?
yeah they don't really even like they don't even really talk about their beliefs that much. They're
No,
just kind of
and
like women suck. That's it.
yeah, and the same thing. It's the same thing that happened in the first Becky. It was like I guess the directors. This is a different director or directing duo from the first one, I believe. But in the first one, I don't think that they felt the need to get into the politics of neo Nazis, and similarly, I don't think that they felt the need to really get into deeply into what these noblemen really stood for, because I think most of the people that are watching the Wrath of Becky probably already know like what's going on here.
Mhm.
So uh the leader of the noblemen, or this chapter of the noblemen that Becky's going after, is played by Sean William Scott. So that's kind of another funny casting choice there, and I think he did actually a pretty good job as being a villain.
Yeah.
And you so the premise, the setup here is basically Becky has an altercation with these noblemen. She has someone close to her killed. Her dog gets kidnapped, and she's like, you know what? I'm gonna kill them all. And it turns out that she uncovers a plot to stage an insurrection, and it seemed like they were also going to try to kill a congresswoman who was I I'm fairly certain was modeled after Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Had to be. There's no way that that was not
Yeah.
AOC. Um, and that's pretty much it. She just kills him. She kills him. The
Hmm.
in the first one, she was, a lot younger, and there were some really interesting kills in the first one as far as like the traps that she would set up and stuff like that. This one just takes it to a whole new level because she ends up getting access to basically a full militia arsenal
Yes.
and is able to do pretty much whatever she wants. And I got to say, like the violence, the gore, it was all pretty well done, I would say. I liked the way it was shot in a darkly comedic way, and I thought that kind of worked. I thought that they straddled the line between comedy and horror pretty well,
Yeah, because
leaning leaning
the
more
way I
heavily into the comedy side.
yeah, because the way I looked at it more so is it seems like it was shot more with that in mind. It doesn't seem like this movie's taking itself seriously at all,
No, no,
which was
I don't.
very much appreciated because early on there's some stuff happening that I'm like, oh man, don't straddle that line a little bit more. Let's not go too far with it.
Yeah, no, and I mean, by the end, you're just like, okay, we they it's we're all fully aware that they're not taking anything too seriously in this. Uh, I loved the scene when the guy fell into the pit. I thought that was shot really well. How they showed him falling into the pit like an idiot, and then what happened to him afterwards, I thought was great. And like I I was into the movie overall, but I've kind of felt the same way that I felt about the first Becky, and maybe I like this one a little bit more just because of how over the top it was and the fact that it really leaned into the like kind of comedic aspects of it, whereas the first one is a little bit more serious. But the end, like that final scene, is really what made me kind of have a grin on my face, because they set it up for another a third one. So it seems like this is going to be a trilogy. Um, and where they ended things, I thought was really funny and just kind of perfect. And I'm really excited to see where things go from here with with regards to like the coordinates and the list that she has and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
by the way, the thing that she had there, the key, that's from the first movie.
nah, they told me. I knew it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because they tell you in the movie. That's why I was like, oh, they kind of caught me up. So they do the little flashbacks here and there. I'm like, yeah.
I couldn't
I
remember
think
if they explicitly said that, but I
yeah, it was
figured.
just like a flashback where she gets it. And I was like, ah, okay. Yeah. I got the main takeaway. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, she got this key.
But we don't
And
know
now
what it is still.
we still don't know what it is, but now she's feds. So I like how
That was
they
a little
did
bit of that
this.
was a little bit of a spoiler, but
Well, you don't know what department.
true. I guess. I guess so. Uh
But
yeah, I thought the ending was really cool. I thought it was fun.
yeah, this is, it is what it is. I didn't hate it. There's some stuff that I thought was lame. I don't like essentially any movie that does this really is where like something happens and then it like freeze frames. It's like, nah, I actually didn't get to do that.
I
It's what I
hated
wanted
that
to do.
too. Like
That
what the
shit is so annoying.
because first of all, I that scene I was like, well that scene's ridiculous in and of itself because there's a scene like that in the first one too, and I was like, yeah, they kind of retread an old territory there. And plus, like the guy didn't just get up and run away. Like he just laid there like an idiot. He wasn't injured or anything. He could have got up and ran away. But then when she's like, "Oh, that's not how it happened," I'm like, "Ugh, why would you? Why? Why would you put that?" She does it one time in the whole movie.
But she
It
does
was
it
so.
twice.
It was. Oh, does she? Oh
She
yeah,
does
you're
it
right. You're
twice.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
It's so unnecessary. Like it's literally just filler. There's no point to it at all. In fact, just the narration portion of it
Yeah.
altogether probably could have just been removed, and it wouldn't have changed anything.
No. It probably would have benefited a little bit.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a lot of criticisms and quibbles you can have with this movie, but at the end of the day, I think it's just pretty fun. I think Lulu Wilson does a good job in this role. I like in general just the fact that this sequel exists in general. I think is just kind of fun. It's not something that I expected,
Yeah.
and the
And
fact that it seems like there's going to be more than just the two also is kind of interesting.
yeah, it's honestly interesting that this is going to become a franchise, and I think I'm more inclined to see what the casting choices will be
I mean, they
from
got to
film to
pick like
film.
a yeah, they got to pick a comedian. Like they're locked in it now. Like they're going to have to pick someone who you would not expect to be playing like
I
a
think,
neo-Nazi or whoever.
well, I was going to say not expecting, but I was going to say Tim Allen should be the next one. I think that
That
would be a good pick.
that would be expected though. Like Tim Allen would actually fit.
That's what
we
I was
we
like. I was like, oh, Tim Allen's perfect, and then you said not expecting, and I was like, oh yeah, that kind of puts it.
yeah, they need somebody who's like really likable and kind.
Mm.
I would say Bo Burnham, but like he was in that
Oh, you said
uh
likable.
well, yeah. I
You
guess
said like
that's
Pete, like Pete
I guess that's
Davidson.
yeah, I guess that's up for debate.
Put Pete
Um
Davidson in the third one.
Put Adam Sandler in it. That
Uh,
that would be a crazy twist.
but it's also got to be someone that's like hasn't been around as much. You know what I mean? Because it was for me like seeing this John William Scott in there. I was like, oh yeah, that guy. Because
I
the
know,
crazy,
like what I
like
like. I feel
he owned like a whole decade. He fucking
yeah,
owned an entire decade.
yeah, like 2000 to 2010. That was Sean William Scott territory.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean he did kind of fall off, unfortunately. I don't know why. I like him. I think he's a good actor. They could have Josh Hartnett be
Oh,
the
there you
villain.
go.
They could
Yep.
have him be the villain in the new one. I would say Nick Stahl, but I think Nick Stahl's got problems.
How about Breckin Meyer?
Oh, Breckenmeyer, that would be perfect. I
Or
feel like I
DJ
saw him in.
Qualls.
Yeah, DJ Qualls would be good too.
DJ
Basically
Qualls.
anyone from a road trip movie.
Pretty much. Uh,
Tom Green. Oh my God. I like this fantasy casting for Becky 3. I think it's or Seth Green. We could do Seth Green too.
oh, Seth Green. Yeah, what's
Yeah.
Seth Green up to? Does he do stuff?
I think he's still doing Robot Chicken. I think
I
it's
mean,
still on.
like actual like work?
I think that's well, he does Family Guy too.
Huh. I'm thinking of
Yeah, he's
like a show, like a
no.
show or a movie. Think he'd
No,
be proud to be
I
like,
think
hey, I do this.
no, I think Family Guy and Robot Chicken probably keep him pretty busy and
Probably
working.
does.
I think he probably does like a lot of conventions and stuff too. Seems like one of those types of things.
No, he was the voice of Howard the Duck in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 movie. Watch
Oh,
out.
there you go. There
He's
you go.
getting that money.
Get that Disney dough.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so that's the Wrath of Becky. Let's go ahead and give it a score. I'm at like a 6 on this one.
Yeah, I'd say like a 5.5, 6.
They have it. That is on VOD platforms right now. If you're looking for a good, fun revenge thriller that involves a lot of Proud Boys getting killed in really gruesome ways by a young girl, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about some of what we've been watching. I think that it is my turn this week. I've been I'm not going to go through them all, but if you check my list on Letterboxd, you'll see that
Yeah.
I'm going through uh the video nasty list. I'm gonna try to watch all of them that I haven't already seen. So I've already seen a ton of movies on the video nasty list, and I just decided randomly that you know what, I'm just gonna try to watch the rest of them. So not going to talk about all the movies that I see on it because a lot of them are just not really worth talking about. Because so far, a lot of them have been very average to below average. Nothing like absolute god awful yet, but um, I'm I'll start off with a non-video nasty one. This is if footmen tire you, what will horses do? Now, this is directed by Ron Ormond. We talked about this, I think it was last week, because there's that box set that came out.
Mm-hmm.
They remastered a whole bunch of this guy's movies. I never heard of him before, and I never saw any of his movies before. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna dive into one of these. This one had a funny title, so I decided to watch it. I literally went into it completely cold. I had no idea what the synopsis was. I didn't know anything about it. I just knew the title. That's it. And
Mm-hmm.
turns out this is like it's a propaganda film, which I didn't know at all, but it is essentially a kind of like a scared straight type movie that tries to warn people against communism.
Mm.
And I mean it's like very overt. Like there's no subtext, there's no subtlety in this. It's just supposedly true stories about communists doing awful things to people, and it's like a series of reenactments of these awful things and what could happen if we let America fall into the hands of the communists and get away from the scripture, get away from the
Mm.
word of God.
Yeah.
So like it's like one part anti-communism and then one part like American Christian values. It's like narrated by some uh like some preacher or something, and
Estes Perkle.
Estes Perkle. Yeah.
Fucking Estes W. Perkle.
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Um it's fascinating. I was thoroughly entertained by it. The things that this guy says and he presents as fact are insane. But the weird thing is, this came out in 1971. I feel like we're getting the same kind of shit happen today, but like just different, like a different medium, like it's just on Facebook and these like different social media platforms, Twitter and all of that, where people are kind of doing the same shit, but just in a different way.
Mm.
So yeah, it was kind of fascinating. You do get to see a communist take little pieces of bamboo and stab them into a kid's ears.
Wow.
Um, yeah, because that's apparently what the communists do to children is they stab
Oh,
them
dude,
in
that's
the they stab them in the ears with bamboo and they and make the kid vomit. Like
oh
that's
yeah.
you know
That's
that's it.
like
So
it's like the classic move.
the
Communists.
the
That's a special move from the communists. You see it
the
all the time.
blood the blood in this movie looked maybe like the fakest blood I've ever seen. It was
Nice.
ridiculous. But the fact that it existed at all was kind of wild. Anyway, that is If Footmen Tire You, What Will Horses Do?
What will that? What will horses do?
I guess I don't know. Guess kill you.
Did the footmen tire you?
No, I think so.
I
I'd say
think you'll
no.
be okay with horses then.
Yeah, I think so.
You're ready for them.
Yeah, I think so.
I watched a newish western. That's Old Henry with Tim Blake Nelson, which still is wild to me that he directed the newest Billy Woods video. But here he is
Hmm.
playing an old western gunslinger disguised as a farmer. He has a past life that he's trying to keep secret.
Hmm.
Of course, this guy he
But you
comes
can't bury the
up.
past.
You can't do it. You can try your best. Jesus Christ, he's been doing it for a long time. He got a plot of land, got married, had a kid. He was doing so good. Everything was just fucking going great for him, right? And then next thing you know, horse pops up out of nowhere with blood on it, and he's like, ah, shit. Finds the guy that was shot, and this guy has a satchel of cash, a boatload of cash. So he decides that, oh, he'd take him back to the farm, get him healed up. If he can, he'll get him healed up and he'll get him out of here, right? Good thing to do, I guess. And but the thing is, Stephen Dwarf and his buddies are hot on this guy's trail because that's his money, that's his satchel of cash. So Stephen Dwarf is your villain in this, and he's fucking great. So is Tim Blake Nelson. Both of them do a fantastic job, and I enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend it. There's a twist. There's a twist that happens where Tim Blake Nelson's revealed to be somebody, and you're just like, oh shit, and then you get some good action in there. And what more could you want, really?
Sounds like a classic Western to me.
That's it's got all the Western things you want, I think.
Nice. Great. That's Old Henry. I was like slightly interested in that when it came out. I was like, I don't know. I really got to be in the mood. Really got to be in the mood for a Western.
And I gotta say, like, I was mildly interested in it, but I was never in the mood, right? So we finally watched it
It
just
hit
for
you.
the sake of it, and I was like, ah, this is actually a pretty damn good movie.
Nice. Again, that's Old Henry. I saw Watermelon Man from 1970.
Yeah.
This is directed by Melvin Van Peebles. Um, this movie's incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's funny. It is, I would say, boundary pushing for the time. It's basically like, it's sort of like a body swap movie. There's no swapping really. Basically, you have this character, his name's Jeff Gerber, and he's an insurance salesman, and he's like mildly, I would I would say like mild to medium racist. And he wakes up one day and he's black. He's a white guy, wakes up the next day and he's a black guy. And the movie's just about him adjusting to life as a black man. And from what I understand, like this was a major studio film. And from what I understand, their original plan was to have a a white guy be in blackface And when Melvin Van Peebles got hired as the director, he was just like, nah, 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 nah. We're gonna hire a black guy and put him in whiteface. So you have Godfrey Cambridge in here as someone who he does whiteface for, I don't know, a third of the movie before he turns into a black man. It's it's definitely satirical. I think that it's funny, but like also, as a white person watching it, it's a very uncomfortable type of laughter because you're laughing at the racism basically. Like you're laughing at the situation and the fact that like when this guy wakes up and he's black, like his whole life gets ruined because of that. And it's so yeah, it's absolutely worth a look. I think Melvin Van Peebles is such a good director. Like he does like all of these little like he puts up like random title cards and stuff, and it's just such a goofy movie, but it has a very serious message. And from what I understand, he insisted that the entire crew be comprised of black people, and the way that the movie ends is also quite surprising and fitting. So I highly recommend Watermelon Man. It is well worth a look.
Watch listed. Gonna check
Yeah,
that
man.
bad boy out.
Melvin Van Peebles. Hell yeah.
I rewatched The Thing,
John Carpenter's
John Carpenter's The Thing. I didn't know that there's like a
an
newish.
original one. Oh,
Well, there's the
there is
original, like a sequel. I can't remember if it was a sequel or a reboot.
the newer one you're talking about.
Yeah,
It was a sequel. It was a sequel, but it was also sort of a reboot
the
too.
old twofer,
Yeah, it was
reboot
bad.
and sequel in it at the same time.
Yeah, it was bad.
Double pack. Yeah, it looked terrible. This is just a fucking terrible idea. Why would you do that? Jesus.
All of the creature effects were CG in the new one, and
Yeah,
it was just sad.
that's that's and see that's the beauty of the thing. That's where all the charm lies in the thing. I mean, obviously pacing's great, acting's great, but the effects in this movie are just batshit insane.
To this day, I think that they're still the best creature effects in any movie. Like they hold up so tremendously well to this day.
They're fucking nuts. And I just miss that in movies in terms of spending so much time, effort, and resources in getting the creature effects to look absolutely fantastic because they commit to it. Like the camera does not shy away from showing you everything, all the transitions, the skin stretching and ripping and tearing, like all that
Hmm.
nasty shit. The camera's just there. Like
And
you
it's in the
have to do it
light
right.
too. Like they don't try to hide things in darkness either.
No,
They yeah, it's so good.
just oh man, fucking love this movie so much.
Yeah, I mean, the thing remains one of my favorites of all time. Like it's one that you can just rewatch over and over again. It never gets old for me. I just pretty much every
And it's funny because I didn't. It wasn't not that long ago that I watched this, and like even this time around, like it comes on, and the Norwegians are shooting the dog, which I had just completely had forgotten that that's how the movie opens, and I'm just like,
yeah.
what the fuck why is there Norwegians in this movie? I don't remember any of this shit.
It's basically the setup for the whole movie.
Exactly. It's just like
But
I don't remember any of this.
it is like way different too. Like I mean, they're like the Norwegians are just they're not part of the main crew, and it's just yeah, it's a very short intro thing too. So I think it's something that's easy to forget.
But yeah, if you
And
haven't seen the thing, I mean, just John Carpenter, general, just watch John Carpenter.
yeah, I mean,
Good.
in this month, Saved by the '90s, we talk about Escape from L.A. and that was a fun one to revisit, man, because I haven't seen that in years. Oh man, that one's pretty wild.
Oh, that's your Kurt Russell right there.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
your boy.
It is my boy. Cool. So that's the thing. Definitely check that out. I saw Extraction 2. This is directed by Sam Hargrave. Um, I did not really like Extraction 1. I was not impressed by it except for that one scene that everybody talks about, the single take action scene with the car. That's really only the only thing I even remember about the first Extraction, and the fact that he died at the end. And I remember saying like the fact that he died at the end and that's like how they ended the movie, I thought was kind of surprising and refreshing to see that. Well, turns out he didn't die.
Ah,
He's back for Extraction 2. Chris Hemsworth, he's back. And I gotta say, this very much like Wrath of Becky does the exact same thing where it's a sequel and it's basically the same thing, just taken to 11. Everything is bigger in this one. You got a 40-minute no cut action scene that's absolutely insane. Like the way that it is shot. So it starts with this like a prison breakout scene, and it's very tense, because Chris Hemsworth and his crew, they're like sneaking through this prison in Georgia, the country, and they're like, hot sneaking past guards and stuff, and like the tension starts to build, and then finally they get the people that they want to extract out of there, and like they get caught, of course. Shit goes down and it causes this huge prison riot, and you just have this insanely choreographed scene involving all of these prisoners fighting. I mean, it's just like complete chaos. Not a single cut. I mean, obviously masked cuts, quite a few of them, but like it doesn't matter. It keeps the momentum is kept up. And like that transitions to a car chase, transitions to a shootout on a train. You got helicopters, chain guns, like Gatling guns, people flying, getting blown up, Molotov cocktails. It's insane. It is so much fun. And the movie in general, I mean, even past, obviously that is the highlight, that giant scene is the highlight. And it happens pretty early on, like very early on. So it does lose momentum after that because nothing reaches those same heights. However,
yeah.
the the action sequences that take place afterwards are very satisfying. They're just not on the same level. So I will say Extraction 2 is a lot of fun. I mean, it's very well shot, very well choreographed. The action is intense. It's a lot more violent than the first one. The first one was pretty violent, but this one kind of takes that up a notch too. Um, and yeah, I definitely recommend this one. It's on Netflix, so if you still have Netflix, you can check it out there. And it seems like that this is probably going to get a third one too. I would imagine. So, yeah, check it out. Extraction 2. Story wise, plot wise, I mean, it is super basic, like not even worth talking about. Somebody
Yeah.
needs to be rescued. That's all you need to know. Like
Yeah.
they try, they try to add to the story, and they incorporate this whole like thing where like there's one of the kids that he saves is like torn between going with his uncle, who's like one of the kind of terrorist guys, and but none of that works. It doesn't matter. It's all inconsequential anyway. You just want to watch this for the action, plain and simple.
Yeah. Does he die at the end of this one?
No,
Ah,
I thought he was going to. I was like, oh man, they're gonna kill him again because it seemed like it was gonna go that way for a second, but no.
that would be a fun thing.
If he
Franchise
died
with
at
a
the end of it,
yeah, yeah. Well, all of them just dies at the end of all of them,
I would like. I think that would be kind of fun.
and then every movie starts with him being like, "Psych,
I'm back.
I'm
Time to
back."
extract this other person.
Oh no, extraction time.
All right, let's take a look at what we have in theaters this week. The big one's Asteroid City. You excited for
Uh,
Asteroid City?
a little bit,
Yeah,
a
I'm a
little
little bit
excited.
excited for it too. I love me some Wes Anderson, so yeah, very excited for that. I hope that it's playing in my area because I do plan on seeing it in the theater.
Ooh, good luck.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for theaters, as far as I can tell here. There's some small things, but VOD this week. What is today? The 19th? Let's see.
Yes, sir.
Starting with the 20th, we have Surrounded. We got Coyote. We got Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And then on the 23rd, we have I'll Show You Mine. We've got Heightened. We got Heroes. Oh boy, that is a rough title. We got Maximum Truth,
Ooh.
and looks like that's about it. On Netflix, we got anything on Netflix? It looks like on the 19th, we have Take Care of Maya. And then on the 23rd, we have Through My Window Across the Sea. And then we also have I Number Josie Gold.
Mm.
That is the most ridiculous title, guys. Come on. I Number Josie Gold. Like, I mean, the movie might be cool. I don't know, but the title there. Give me a break. Blu-ray this week. We got Avatar: The Way of the Water.
Oh boy.
Or as we like to say, Way of the Water.
Way of the water.
Got the looks like some Tom Cruise stuff coming out here. Vanilla Sky's coming out in 4K. The Firm's coming out in 4K. Let's see. We got The Covenant. That's the Guy Ritchie one from earlier this year. That's actually pretty good. I'd give that a light recommend. We got the Game trilogy coming out on Arrow. Most Dangerous Game, The Killing Game, and The Execution Game. We got Ronin coming out in 4K. Let's see what else. Polite Society from earlier this year. I thought that one was okay. Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead. Finally coming out on Blu-ray, man. I've been waiting for that one.
Fucking hell.
Oh
Incredible.
My God. I Am T-Rex from last year. It looks like that's pretty much it. What about Criterion's?
Oh, we got two. Got a twofer. We got The Servant from 1963 getting a 4K restoration. And then we have Medicine for Melancholy, the Barry Jenkins, 2008.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. And if you have a minute, consider giving us a review on iTunes. That'd be great. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.